Mrs. Green, and today we're going to get to know each other a little bit. And the first thing that you should know about me is that I feel extremely self-conscious about making this video. But because I couldn't be in class today, we didn't really have another option. So I hope you'll be forgiving of me, especially if I seem nervous or flub up a little bit. Now, for this activity that we're going to do, you should have printed out a paper called Synectics, Making the Familiar Strange. And you'll see that I have basically copied most of it here on the board, and I will be doing examples for you. You are not writing down exactly what I write down here. This is just an example to help you understand this activity. So you'll want to have this printed and just complete it as I go along here, just like you would in class. All right, let's go ahead and get started. So, synectics, it's kind of a funny word, and it is one of the models of instruction that you will learn in this class. And we'll learn several models. This is just one of them. But because you will need to do this at some point, I thought I would model it for you so that you can begin to get familiar with it. So let's just start right at the top. Number one, topic to be analyzed. So what we're analyzing today is ourselves. So you. So for me, I'm writing me. The topic to be analyzed is me. And you can also write me, but when you write me, you're meaning you, not me. Hope that makes sense, okay? So me or you. All right, now, the next thing is you need to choose two different items here, and then we'll label them. It does not matter which two you choose. I'm going to choose two to use as an example, but you can choose any two that you want. So the first one that I'll circle is office supply. And then you'll see there's fruit or veggie, and I'll just do fruit. And then the instructions on number two say, label them A and B. So it doesn't matter which one is labeled which. I'm going to label fruit A and office supplies B. And you can label them whatever you want. Now, if you're not happy with any of these categories, you'll notice that there's an other category, and you can write down your own category and choose that if you wish. So once you've chosen your two categories and you've labeled them A and B, then we begin with the graphic organizer. All right, so you're going to look in the first column, and we'll just be filling these out column by column, and I will explain what they mean, because it is going to be some new terminology for you, and without the explanation, it could be a little confusing. So just pay close attention so that the terminology makes sense to you. All right, so in this first column, you're going to list as many words as possible to describe your topic. Here, number one, so to list yourself. So you want to list adjectives that describe you. Not just things that you enjoy doing, but things that really describe you. So I'm going to be listing things about me. This way you'll get to know a little bit about me as we do this. Okay, so some things about me. Now you want to just fill this up as much as possible. The more choices you give yourself, then the more options you have, and the better it will be. So I'm a teacher, I'm a wife, mother, sister. These are some of the roles I have in my life. I'm a musician. I play the piano and the flute. I some things that I like to do. I like to travel, I like to eat sushi, but we need to write those in ways that are adjectives. So I am a traveler. I'm a sushi lover. I know I'm going to run out of room, so I'm going to come up here. And I am a Diet Dr. Pepper addict. It's a problem. So, Diet Dr. Pepper addict. So I'm going to take a few more minutes and just finish filling in this section, and then come back to it, and you can see some of the other adjectives that I've used for myself. Okay, so you can see that I've taken the time to fill in the rest of this column with some more adjectives that describe me. For example, I'm a beach lover, a reader, a writer. I'm soft, versatile, a nerd, eclectic, affectionate, excited, smart, thoughtful, reliable, happy, bright, I'm shy, and so on. So now we're going to move to the next column, where we will create direct analogies. Okay, so what, my category A, so my category A was fruit. So what fruit can be described the same way? List as many as you can. So I want to look at these adjectives, and I want to come up with some fruits that could be described with as many of these same words as possible, and I need to be able to explain or justify my reasoning. Now, normally you might be working with someone in a group, and you would explain or justify it to them, but just go ahead and explain or justify it to yourself. And then when you work with your group on Wednesday, you will be able to do some explaining to them of your thought processes. Okay, so I'm looking at all of these things, and one that comes to mind is maybe grapes. That's one fruit that comes to mind. Because grapes are, they grow in bunches, and I'm very family oriented. A lot of my descriptors are family terms. And it's a versatile fruit. It can be eclectic. It can be used for many different things. They're very sweet. They are soft, and so on. So that's one that I can think of. Another might be oranges. So an orange. With the word eclectic, oranges have segments. There can be many different parts to it. Same with eclectic. They are sweet, they're bright, they remind me of happiness because of the color, and so that would be another one. And you're just going to continue that way, listing some of the different, whatever your category A is, that could use as many of these same adjectives as possible. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and fill in the rest, and then we will continue. Okay, so I've finished filling in some more fruits that I feel like can be described with these different adjectives as well. Pineapple, apple, banana, lychee, strawberry, and pomegranate. And I can explain my reasoning for all of these. For example, a lychee, it's a exotic fruit, most often found in the islands. So that reminds me of beaches and my husband. So being a wife, when we went to Hawaii, we ate them there, and, it's excited. and happy, etc. And then, oh, and they're very sweet as well. Strawberry is bright, happy, thoughtful, it's sweet, and a banana kind of reminds me of shy with the peel. You could say that for oranges as well. But they're also a bright fruit. Apple is kind of the most versatile fruit. It's used in everything, apple juice and whatever, so it's very versatile, and so on and so forth. So now I've finished this section, and we're going to go on to the third column. So the third column is where we create personal analogies. So we're going to pick the category A minus fruit. Yours may be a movie or occupation or animal, whatever. Okay, so this category A from the previous list. So this list that best encompasses the descriptors. So which of these fruits that I've listed do I feel best encompasses the most of these descriptors as possible? And then what I do is I circle it. For me, I think it's grapes. So I'm going to circle grapes, and now I'm going to describe how it would feel to be that fruit. So if your category A is junk food or a sport or whatever, you would be picking the junk food or sport that you feel best uses as many adjectives as possible from that list, and you would circle it, and then you're going to talk about how it would feel to be that. Okay, so how would it feel to be grapes? Okay, I'm going to think about being a grape and how would I feel if I were a grape. I might feel bunched, cramped, sweet. I might feel needed. Grapes obviously provide grape juice and wine and a living for many people around the world. I might feel thinking about how they make grape juice and wine, and so I might feel stomped on. Raisins are made from grapes, so I might feel dried up. But when they're plump and juicy, then they're not dried up, so they might be juicy, plump. Okay, so I'm going to just think about some more ways that it would feel to be a grape. And I'll finish filling this in, and then we'll continue. Okay, I've come up with some more analogies of how it would feel to be a grape. Let me just go through some of them. It could feel squished, but grapes could also feel protected because they're in big bunches. They're tender. They have to be really well tended and loved, protected. If they're the purple grapes, they might feel bright. They're cultivated. They're grown in warm climates, so I would feel warm. Perhaps I might feel used because I'm used to make other products or to be eaten. I can feel pressured, plump, juicy, and so on. So here's just a whole bunch of words that describe how it would feel to be that fruit for me. Now I'm going to go to the next section. The fourth section is about compressed conflicts. So now I'm going to identify words from this previous list here that seem to contradict each other. and then I'm going to list those pairs here. So these contradictions are kind of fighting words, things that seem at odds. So, for example, maybe squished and protected. How about plump and dried up? Other words that seem at odds with each other. Needed and used. And you can reuse these words if you would like to. So, for example, maybe dried up and juicy would also work as words that are at odds. So dried up and juicy. All right, so you're going to continue making a list of as many of these compressed conflicts as possible from the words that you have here, all right? And I'm going to continue with that, and then we'll finish the fifth column. All right, I've come up with some more compressed conflicts here. Pressured, protected, stomped on, well-tended, loved, and stomped on. And you could come up with as many as you want. Now we're going to go to the fifth here, where we're talking about direct analogies. Let me switch sides here. Okay, so we're going to circle the pair of words from the previous list, so from here, that seem the most contradictory. And this is your opinion, all right? So I'm going to look through my list and decide what I think is the most contradictory. And I'm going to go with stomped on and well-tended. So I'm going to circle that. Now, I'm going to list as many category B as you can that can be described with that same pair. So my category B, look back up here, was office supplies. Okay? Yours may be an occupation, a book, a major. It doesn't matter. You're just going to look at this list, or the terms that you circled here, and you're going to think about this new category, B, and list as many of those things as you can that could be described with that same pair. All right, so stomped on and well-tended. I'm going to think about some different office supplies that I feel like would be able to fit that description. I'm going to say maybe a copy machine. Sorry, misspelled it there. Okay, because it has to be well tended. You always have to take care of it. They have techs who come and take care of it, but it also tends to get stomped on. People misuse it all the time. They'll smack it, they'll close it, they'll jam paper in it, whatever. So I think that that fits the stomped on and well tended. Okay. Another office supply that would fit that might be crayons. seems that some people just stomp all over the crayons, they break them, they don't care if they're put in order or whatever. And other people are very particular with theirs. And they really take care of them and make sure that they're always sharpened and they never break and they're in wonderful use and care. Okay, so I'm going to come up with some more of the office supplies that I feel like can be described by stomped on and well tended, and then we will continue. Okay, I've come up with a few more office supplies that I feel can be described with stomped on and well tended. Stapler, a 3-hole punch, and paper. And my reasoning for those are staplers often are misused. They're, I guess, not literally stomped on, but people smash them and slam them down and stuff, but they can also be quite persnickety. And some people are really particular about their staplers. And you have to really take care of them and make sure the staples are put in properly and that you always have enough staplers, etc. And it's kind of the same idea here with the 3-hole punch. That those are some pretty expensive things and people tend to be really careful with them, but a lot of times people will ask to borrow it and they'll just stomp all over it and not be nice with it. Paper, it's something that's crumpled up, thrown away, misused, people doodle all over it, they just stomp all over it. But it's also something that is needed and usually well tended. They will divide it out by colors and by size and etc. Make sure there's always paper ordered. So that's my reasoning for some of these things. And now I am going to erase the board and we will continue with the very bottom section. All right. So at the bottom of your paper, you'll see that you circle the category that, the category B, sorry, so for me that's office supplies. So circle the office supply that's best described by your compressed conflict. For me, I think the one that best describes it is a copy machine. And now I'm going to write a paragraph where I am going to describe my original topic, which is myself, in terms of the word that I just circled. So I'm going to describe myself as a copy machine. Okay. So let me go ahead and write that and then we'll continue. All right, so now I've written my paragraph and I'm going to go ahead and read that to you. So, I am like a copy machine because I am hardworking, detail-oriented, and a perfectionist. I try my best to help others, and sometimes people take advantage of me and misuse me. I like to be prepared, and I enjoy difficult jobs. Sometimes things seem very black and white to me, but I can also see shades of gray. I prefer a colorful world with a lot of variety and interesting ideas. So, with the Synectics, you can see that we've taken something very familiar, ourselves, me, and we have been able to look at it in a strange way. So I'm looking at myself as a copy machine. But it's given me many more ideas than I had at first. If you look back at the first column where I described myself, I had a few of these things, but it could have sounded very much like a stilted resume kind of paragraph, as opposed to what I've got here at the end. You've learned out some interesting things about me from looking at it in a strange way. So you're going to write a paragraph now about whatever your category B was that you chose, your junk food or your book, movie, whatever. And you're going to explain how you are like that thing in a similar manner as to what I've done here. You need to write a full paragraph. Now, when you come to class on Wednesday, you need to be prepared to share this. You're going to meet with other people that are going to teach in your same content area. So all of the history teachers will meet together, the music teachers. And you're going to share these papers with each other. You're going to read these paragraphs, and you're going to learn about each other, because you're going to be working with each other often throughout the semester. And then we're going to also share with the class. So each group is going to pick one or two that they thought were particularly interesting or good, and share with the class so that we can begin getting to know each other as a whole. You will not always work with someone in your same content area. In fact, some of you may not have anyone else in the class that is in your content area. And so you may find that you're often working with people in different content areas. And that's great, that's no problem. So I hope that you enjoyed this activity. I know it's a little long and different. It makes you use your brain in a very different way, but I think it's also interesting and exciting to look at things in a different way, and I hope that it also helps us get to know each other better. Thank you.